Excelsior!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of Excelsior. I'm your moderator, Christian Buckley, joined once again by Jack Martin.
Thank you for having me.
And returning, Mr. Pat Maroney.
I'm back.
You're back on the mixer?
Yeah, I took a 1-week hiatus.
Oh,
Yeah.
You've earned it.
Yeah, I missed some stuff, man. You guys had banter about NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys while I was
Yes.
gone.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Wish I could have gotten into
We'll
that
find
one.
out the answer to that next week.
I was going to say, to make it interesting,
Yeah,
because there's a chance that neither of them get in.
it's very possible.
But on the off chance they do,
Mm-hmm.
if you said Backstreet, right?
Yeah.
If Backstreet's in it, the episode we review Captain Marvel, I will wear all white.
Okay. You want me to wear all black?
Sure.
If-
NSYNC is like,
Well, I don't know much about these bands. I can wear all white.
okay. Because I know Backstreet.
I don't know if I have white pants.
I have white shorts.
Okay.
I'm
I'm also very, also, I'm not seen from above
true. Yeah.
Mm. or from below.
So if that's something you're interested in,
I'd be down for that.
we can follow up.
That's a fair bet.
All right, cool.
What if they both show up?
If they both show up, then we all win.
I'll wear an Adidas tracksuit.
Oh, cool.
Perfect. So kicking things off as we do normally, we're going to be doing Cast Me Baby one more time. But before we do this week's episode, or installment, I should say, Pat, last week, Jack and I had to cast Reed Richards, a.k.a. Mr. Fantastic. I offered the choice of John Krasinski. Jack offered the choice of Leonardo DiCaprio, Oscar award winner.
Handsome man.
Who you pick?
Yeah.
Who you picking?
So I thought about this over the past hour. So it was tough because they're both that guy. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Control the room. But like when I think of The Office, I think of like Jim under a goofy boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if Robert Downey Jr. is most likely the Avengers goofy boss. Actually, no. See, now I confused myself. Oh no. Okay. I'm going with John Krasinski.
Krasinski,
Yeah,
okay.
because Robert Downey Jr. is kind of a goofy boss.
I think that's the
As Iron
correct
Man.
choice.
He
He
and
just looks like him.
also
Yeah. Throw some silver in
Yeah.
that hair.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got it.
yeah. I was about to say he's not blonde
No.
either. So
Like as who is he? Jack Ryder or
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan in the Amazon series?
Yeah, he is.
he was also a quiet guy in a quiet place.
Yeah, his character was the quiet
guy in a quiet place. So now that that's settled, we are doing a little bonus round, I guess.
Cool.
Continuing Cast Me Baby one more time,
Mhm.
where every week Jack picks a random piece of paper with a random character name on it that may or may not be added to the MCU after the Fox acquisition. Maybe these are actual characters Marvel can already use that they haven't yet. So this week, we are going to be debating
Blade.
Blade. Okay, I got
I
this
have
one.
no one.
I got this locked and loaded.
I have absolutely no one.
Okay, so we each have a minute to defend our choice. Pat will then choose who we think should be Blade. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you should,
Okay,
you should go
okay.
first because I have no one.
So, starting now. Blade should be Mahershala Ali. He's a two-time Academy Award winner. He's a very good actor. I love him in Moonlight. But you see that Alita Battle Angel? He's in it.
Ah.
He has black sunglasses on and like a black leather coat. He's already auditioning for Blade.
Okay.
He's getting it going. But yeah, he's a very good actor. I think it's a matter of time before every actor in Hollywood who has some credence to their name ends up in Marvel. So why not Mahershala Ali? He's very good. I like him a lot. Blade has a corniness to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think from what I have seen of True Detective Season 3, which is very little,
Right.
I think he could pull off the whole mysterious, brooding sort of guy who is very like the straight man, you know?
Yep.
Like put a fun cast around Blade.
Sure.
Maybe have him with team up with some young kid. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Mahershala Ali is a great actor.
Fascinating. Well, I'm gonna go with someone who's not such a great actor, and it is in the vein of the Beyonce choice I did for Mystique.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone deserves a comeback, Christian, and it's time Eddie Murphy got his comeback.
I'm just gonna say you just won right
Yeah.
there.
So Eddie Murphy, known for his prolific stand-up career, and then his not so great acting career as Daddy in Daddy Daycare, and of course
Donkey.
and Donkey. Yes. What else was he in? He was in the Nutty Professor series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not so great acting career, so he kind of petered out when he started doing that. But where is Eddie Murphy? Haven't heard from him in years. I think it'd be awesome if he just like showed up as this older, wiser, funny. You said Blade has you said he has a cheesiness to him. That's Eddie Murphy right there, cheesy fellow. And I think it'd be really funny if, especially in the MCU, which has such a lighter tone to it, that Eddie Murphy would be good in that role. I know nothing about the character of Blade, so
It's a vampire killer.
okay. Well, there we go.
All right.
Oh, he to add on to that, Vampire Killer, Eddie Murphy was also in Disney's Haunted Mansion.
He was.
So he's already been in that sort of a
He's already in a horror role.
like that. So there's my choice.
All right, Pat, you had a
Sorry.
comment.
Yeah.
Are you sticking with it?
So, like, one of my favorite stand-up specials of all time is Delirious.
Hell yeah.
When Eddie Murphy's just in the full leather suit. And you're saying put Eddie Murphy back in a leather? Like,
Sounds good to me.
All right,
he
yeah.
just won.
All right. So
So you
this.
guys split the day.
Okay.
Cool.
So now, if you're following along, Mystique is being played by Beyonce. Apocalypse is being played by Dolph Lundgren. Mr. Fantastic is being played by John Krasinski. And Blade, the Vampire Hunter, is being portrayed by one Eddie Murphy.
Cool.
Thank God I don't work in Hollywood.
Yeah. Something.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Well,
Appreciate that.
considering you guys shunned the Oscar winner, we're going to talk about the Oscars.
Okay.
Marvel had a presence at the Oscars this past Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Not when you're listening to this when we're recording, because this comes out on Mondays. So there's a few things I pulled. Marvel had a couple wins of the night. First off, Spider-Verse won Best Animated Picture.
As it should have.
It should have. That movie is very good.
I think that movie, for its animation, is something that no one has ever seen before. The way that they would focus and like unfocus some things, which people would have like different like silhouettes behind them instead of just like the normal, out of focus kind of thing that is known for. I don't know. It was so interesting, and the little tiny dots. On the screen at all times, it kind of looked like a comic on screen. I thought that was amazing.
Spider-Verse is probably my favorite representation of the medium on screen.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we're going to see a million clones of this now, because like Sony knows it too, because they tried to trademark the animation style.
Oh, really?
I want like 8 more of these things. No, like 80 more of these things,
Yeah,
because like
seriously.
it's so good, and hopefully, I know it didn't do like incredibly well
Right.
by like animated film standards, but of like Pixar and stuff like that, which I don't think it needed to. But now that it won best animated film, hopefully that helps buff up the chances of Spider-Verse 2.
Yep.
Which
And
I'm
I'll
sure
say-
is already in production.
And I'll say I'm hoping that Marvel will delve into. I know this is more of a Sony thing, but still with Marvel, I hope Marvel will delve into isolated stories like this in the animated realm,
That'd be really cool.
because they don't really do that. I know DC. I don't know if you
DC's
plan-
great about it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you plan to talk about it all, but DC released someone from DC released a statement saying that they're more focused on isolated stories nowadays, and the connected universe is kind of taking a back seat.
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, me too.
Because Aquaman was pretty separate. I had a lot of fun with Aquaman. I liked it a lot.
Yep.
So if like Aquaman has his own thing, Wonder Woman has her own thing, Batman and Joker go back and forth with their own thing, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, same. I'd love
And-
to see Marvel do that too.
Yeah, it would be cool if they did. Hopefully, in whatever Phase 4 turns out being, they do experiment a little more, and I'm sure they
Yes.
will, which we're actually going to get into a little later.
Yeah.
But Marvel Studios, Marvel proper, if you want to call it that, they also had some awards, all for Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite thing about the entire show of the Oscars is when MCU actors were presenting the awards that Black Panther was nominated in, and when they saw Black Panther won before it was revealed, they like freaked out. They were so hyped up. I think Chris Evans, presented the award for costume design, I think. And I forget who he was with, but I think it was J-Lo.
Okay.
So she opened the envelope. Before she read it, it was like you could see Chris Evans in the framing. He was just like, so Black Panther won for
Sweet.
costume design. That went to Ruth E. Carter. Shout out. She's from Springfield.
Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Not a stone's throw away from this town of Amherst.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's a fun little fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think she shout out Massachusetts in her speech, and then
Really?
I couldn't find my remote after the Oscars ended,
Yeah.
and it rolled into public news, and it was like, hey, Ruthie Carter is from Springfield.
That's really cool, actually.
By the way, talk about a place that like couldn't be more the opposite of Wakanda.
Springfield.
Yeah.
Just like one of the worst cities in Massachusetts.
It's a casino town now.
Yeah, it is. MGM rolling in.
Black Panther also won for production design. That went to Hannah Beachler, excuse me, Hannah Beachler and Jay Hart. It also won for best original score, which went to Ludwig Göransson, who was also composing for the Star Wars series The Mandalorian.
Ooh, interesting.
Black Panther's soundtrack was the soundtrack for Black Panther
Soundtrack's amazing.
was awesome as a concept album, but the original score for Black Panther, which is what won, is so good.
Yeah, well deserved. Absolutely well deserved.
Yeah, all three of those I think were exceptional. Like, I'm glad the Academy decided to give the award for costume design and production design specifically to this amazingly futuristic mix of like African culture, Afrofuturism, and they highlighted that instead of like the two that were nominated that represent like the 18th millionth Victorian film nominated by the Academy. You know, it was a nice change of pace.
I think so too.
I also still think that Black Panther is one of the coolest costumes.
Oh yeah,
in the MCU
for sure. Yeah, I love all the design of Wakanda. Like, didn't win CG. We will talk about that when we get to Black Panther, I'm sure. But
deservedly so, I think.
So Black Panther is the first Academy Award winning Marvel Studios film.
Very cool. Well deserved, I think. Great movie.
If it went to anything, I'm glad it went to Black Panther because Black Panther was very, very good.
I think it's the most different of the Marvel movies.
For sure.
So glad that one.
I also think Black Panther is kind of just like this culmination of all this experimenting Marvel's been doing all the way up until Black Panther.
Yeah,
definitely.
So yeah, I do agree. If anything, deserved to get it.
Very cool.
So talking about uniqueness in Marvel, we got a little bit of news of something that is probably going to be the most unique, saying it nicely, most out there Marvel project ever, the Eternals. We talked about this a little last week. So last week we talked about a casting sheet which came out about shedding some light on who the main team of the Eternals is going to be. So I'll link to that if you want to check out what we talked there. This week, via Collider, there's a quote from Kevin Feige about the Eternals being this like epic. Quoting Kevin Feige. Everything after Endgame and after Spider-Man Far From Home will be different and be unique, as we try to make every film introducing characters that the majority of the world has never heard of, much like Guardians, much like Avengers before we made Avengers. Jack Kirby did an immense, amazing epic with Eternals that spans tens of thousands of years, and that's also something we haven't really done before, which is why that, among many other things post-Endgame, we find appealing. So, the Eternals is shaping up to be quite a project for Marvel.
Yes, I am very fascinated by this. I liked that statement because I think, like after Endgame, before he even said this, like it's going to be very strange. The MCU is going to take a hard left turn, I feel. And we're going to start seeing some weird stuff on screen.
We are.
And the Eternals is absolutely something I've never heard of.
Me either.
Yeah.
I'm familiar. Obviously, I'm familiar with Jack Kirby and his influence in Marvel of like Captain America.
Yep.
I'm more familiar with him as like some weird, obscure thing that is fully him is the New Gods for DC. I actually pulled a little explanation about what this whole thing is. So Jack Kirby, he left to Marvel for a period of time. He went to DC. He created the New Gods. The New Gods was very ambitious, very out there. It was canceled, I believe, 6 issues in. Came back to Marvel after the fact.
Yep.
And then created the Eternals, which is very similar tonally, very cosmic, ancient beings focused sort of story. That also got canceled. So the Eternals, Jack Kirby's run of the Eternals, which is praised by Kevin Feige in this quote, not very long. I looked, it's on sale on Comixology right now. There's 2 volumes to collect his entire run of the Eternals. I think it's 17 issues between the 2 volumes. I think it's like $10 total.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So I might buy that this weekend.
Okay.
Read it and then talk about it next week.
Sure.
Because I'm very interested in this. Especially the way he's talking about it as this like this epic, like this Odyssey, Iliad sort of comic book epic. If it's like a celestial sort of sword and sandal movie, that'd be really cool.
That'd be very interesting.
Like Lord of the Rings style.
So is this a team up Guardians like experience that we're gonna get?
So yeah, the Eternals, from my brief Wikipedia scanning, is pretty much similar to Guardians, of like it's a ensemble,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily like a team of people like
Okay.
the Avengers or the Guardians, more
Sure.
so like a group of interconnected beings, not like interconnected in the sense that they all rely on each other, not like, oh, I'm related, like not like a family drama sort of
Yeah,
thing, like
yeah.
Thor. So yeah, I'm interested to check it out because the Eternals came out, the original run from Jack Kirby, when comics were doing like their weird, crazy experiments with things.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
very, from what I've looked at briefly, it got canceled because it was very suggestive and very weird. Like it's like Marty McFly, your kids are gonna love it, you
Yeah.
know.
Do you think
So-
Marvel's gonna go out to space more with this? Like, do you think the focus is gonna be more outside of Earth and now
for the Eternals,
just for Phase 4 going forward?
I think the cosmic universe is going to be front and center for the
Yeah,
most part.
That's what it seems like to me.
We will have the exceptions of like Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
and Black Widow, and I'd say probably Black Panther. I know
Yeah.
in the comics recently Black Panther has gone to space,
Oh.
and like Wakanda's focus of being like a like space exploration has been explored recently.
Interesting. Yeah.
By the way, you also did mention that like Spider-Man would be kind of the branch away from space, but in the last movie he was in space.
Yeah, that's true.
It's fair. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. If we look back, I guess, to all those quotes about the future of the MCU, probably like 2 years ago, and how like James Gunn was going to be the shepherd of the cosmic side of things. It seems like they're at least course is set to explore the cosmos a little more.
Yeah. I initially would be hesitant by that, but what they did with Guardians was so incredible,
Mhm.
and what they did with Infinity War, like that didn't seem weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't like in comics, or in superhero comics, when they delve into space, because that's not interesting to me, really. But what they're doing in the MCU and with space, I think is really interesting. So
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree. I think, again, I'm interested to actually read the source material of the
Mhm.
Eternals, because if it is going to be this like establishment tens of thousands of years ago, set up like Celestials, maybe once the rights come in, they bring in like Galactus or something.
Yep.
It's going to be cool.
Yeah, definitely. I'm
So-
excited.
Yeah, I want to see where that ends up. Probably farthest away from space. We got some World War II superheroes. Let's talk about
Sure.
Captain America.
Okay.
Captain America: The First Avenger is now on 4K Blu-ray.
Hey, there you go.
I don't own a 4K Blu-ray player.
I don't either.
I want to. I don't.
What does any gaming console have a 4K Blu-ray?
One of the Xboxes does.
the S maybe, or it's
I
probably
think
the
it's
X.
either the S. I think the S and the X might.
Okay,
The PS4 Pro does not.
that's weird. That's
Right.
so weird.
Right? It's so weird because like Sony was like, oh, Blu-rays with the PS3.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty big Blu-ray collection,
Mhm.
and I love that my PS4 can play them. Be nice if I could use the 4Ks.
Yeah, that's strange to me, but good for Cap.
Yeah, I think that's the first, like going back to the MCU. I could be wrong on this, but I feel like this is one of the first going back to a MCU film and making it 4K now.
Oh,
Is that technically like a remaster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool.
Um,
Well, that's
also, Winter Soldier and Civil War are coming soon. Also, those are the next two lined up for 4K release.
What was the first one released that they went back to? Oh, you said it was.
I think
Cap.
it's Winter. I think it's First Avenger.
Interesting. It wasn't Iron Man.
I don't think so.
I wonder why.
I'm sure that once 4K Blu-rays were a thing, I should
Yeah.
have looked into this more. Once 4K Blu-rays were a thing, and like Marvel was getting their releases, so probably around like Ragnarok. I'm assuming like since Ragnarok they've been releasing 4K Blu-rays.
Okay.
But I think like in hindsight, I guess, or like going back, and
Mhm.
as far as bringing some up to the new standard, I think Cap is one of the first they're doing.
Didn't you also mention that Iron Man wasn't shot digitally?
Oh, that's a good
Correct.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might be weird.
It's probably a pain to do.
I don't know how upscaling film works
Yeah.
at all. It's so foreign to me, but it's cool. Once I have a 4K Blu-ray player, I'll probably buy these.
Yeah. I'm always worried about amassing a collection of Blu-rays because I really want to,
Mm-hmm.
and 4K Blu-rays are gonna start like being the norm.
Yeah.
and I don't want to have this massive collection, and it's
Yeah.
not even like useful. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll start building a 4K collection.
Yeah. If you're also interested, Spider-Verse is on digital now.
Ooh,
So
I am interested because I came back from Dublin and watched that like a day or two after, and was falling asleep in the movie theater because of the time change.
oh yeah.
So, which is really unfortunate because I like that movie, but I don't remember a lot of it because I was like literally passed out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always prefer with my movies, I guess, to go physical. Games, I'm kind of more digital.
Me too.
Spider-Man, though, now that's out on digital, I was so tempted the day it came out, but I saw Best Buy has a very good-looking steelbook
Ooh.
of Spider-Verse that I really want. I think it's like $30, but worth it because that movie's so good. Oh, Lord. All right, so moving on outside of the MCU for now. X-Men. Sorry, this isn't even the title. Just Dark Phoenix.
No X-Men in the title? Just Dark Phoenix?
The X is circled in Phoenix.
Oh, well, that's fun.
All right, so Dark Phoenix got its second trailer
Mm-hmm.
this past week. I don't know where we want to start with this because I feel like I'm in the minority where I really enjoy, like, I'd say 80% of the Fox X-Men films,
Yes.
not counting even outside of like Logan, like
Deadpool,
Wolverine stuff and Deadpool.
Yeah.
The X-Men, like X-Men in the title movies, I enjoy a handful of them.
I went back and watched along with Kind of Funnies, X-Men in review,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, wow, I just like most of these.
Ooh.
Like they just do not age well for me.
Mhm.
Like especially the first three.
What about the newer ones?
The newer ones I like. The first three just don't age well for me. First Class I really like. Days of Future Past I think is really really good. And Apocalypse I really dislike.
Okay.
And then of course Logan is incredible and Deadpool. But like the mainline, what you were saying, the mainline X-Men, I'm like hit or miss on those. The newer ones I actually prefer.
I like more X-Men movies than I don't like.
Yeah.
I will also say First Class is one of my favorite superhero movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is, as far as Marvel movies go, like
Yeah.
grand scheme of things, I think it's better than a decent chunk of the MCU. Just, again, opinions and stuff like that. But First Class is great. I really love the new cast outside of Jennifer Lawrence.
Me too.
Uh,
You're not a Jennifer Lawrence guy?
after the second Hunger Games movie, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I love Hunger Games too.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since then, I feel like it's just been going downhill.
I don't really
Also, Days of Future Past sounded super phoned in from her.
Yeah, I don't really like her all that much, to be honest.
I don't either.
She's said some, just as a person too, she's done some
Yeah, she's
controversial
kinda-
things.
Yeah.
But,
Oh
well.
well, we don't have to worry about her anymore because apparently, according to this trailer, she gets killed.
Wait, I didn't notice that. She just gets murked in the trailer?
So it doesn't. It's not really like,
Explicit?
yeah. It's like it shows. What's her name? It shows.
Sophie Turner?
Yeah.
Sansa Stark.
Yeah. It's like. It's okay. It shows.
That's never happened before.
all right.
Yeah, first for Excelsior.
Just happened so
An older,
What's that?
I
an
don't
older
know.
woman trying to give her thoughts on Dark Phoenix. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Okay, so it showed.
So I guess like Sophie Turner's standing in the street and she's starting to go crazy, and then Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique is like, "It's okay, Jean,"
Yeah.
and then it cuts away to a different scenario where Jean is like, she's talking to whatever the Dark Phoenix power is, and she's like, "I didn't want to hurt her or attack her." Hard cut to the X-Men standing very sad over a grave that is freshly dug.
Oh, yeah. Well, I will not mourn for that death, to be completely honest.
So, I guess I just want to say, like, check the pulse on this one. How are we feeling about Dark Phoenix?
I don't care. I really don't. After Apocalypse, I just, like, don't care about the X-Men movies anymore, and especially since Marvel's taking over, like, what's the point? That's at least how I think about it. I really like the new cast.
I do too, a lot.
I think they give Professor X and Magneto like much more to work with than they did with the with Patrick Stewart and
Ian
Ian
McKellen.
Ian McKellen, which is fascinating because those actors are incredible. But Michael Fassbender and why do I always forget his name?
James McAvoy.
Yeah, James McAvoy. I think those two are like my favorite on-screen Professor X and Magneto duo.
Me too. Even in Apocalypse, I thought the stuff with Magneto was awesome.
Yeah, his backstory was pretty incredible.
Yeah,
That was my favorite part of
The
that
stuff
movie.
with his family, like in the woods and everything,
Yep.
and his entire arc, and that was really good. Professor X in Apocalypse, I don't really remember a ton of,
Yeah,
but
I don't either.
I love him in First Class, and I like his character in Days of Future Past.
Mhm.
So
I really dislike, and the whole movie is about her. I really dislike Sophie Turner as an actress.
oh really?
I don't think she's good.
I haven't seen her in much. I know she's like huge on Game of Thrones, but I never watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, she's not good in Game of Thrones in my opinion. Or her character is just not good.
Mhm.
And in Apocalypse, I was like, ugh, I mean, not that I can act, so who am I to judge? But like, I just did not think she's a good actress in that.
Mm-hmm. It's worth shouting out, or not shouting out, I guess, shining a light on the fact that this is the Dark Phoenix arc, which was also shoehorned into X-Men: The Last Stand.
Yeah,
Uh,
that makes no sense to me. Like, that's what I was thinking during this trailer. Like, they already did that,
yeah.
and they're doing it again, but in the past.
Yeah. So like my whole thing is Days of Future Past. I know it was supposed to be like this. Oh, like so many people gave it so much credit because they're like, oh, it fixed the timeline.
Yeah,
Did it?
I
It
don't
didn't.
think it
did
did.
not. And it was cool, but I would have liked Days of Future Past more if they were like if they
Yeah.
didn't focus on the whole like, oh, we gotta fix everything.
yeah. Like, I feel like everything that happened in the first 3 X-Men movie, maybe not the third one. I
Mhm.
think everything that happened in the first 2 X-Men movies like still happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was never clear.
Yeah, it wasn't. And I mean, like, I don't know. This is the last Fox X-Men film.
So you think it's gonna end with a bang?
Somebody actually tweeted something that I'm a
Ooh.
fan of. But again, it would be cool if they did this, but people would just be like, oh, they're copying Infinity War. Apparently, I don't know much about the Dark Phoenix arc,
Okay.
but apparently there's a moment where she goes like supernova crazy
Yeah.
god level, Goku style. And she says like no more mutants.
Oh.
Every mutant dies.
Ooh, interesting.
So considering this is the last Fox X-Men film,
Yeah.
they're gonna probably be recasting all of these people for the MCU,
Mm-hmm.
starting over with whatever their plans are. I think it would be bold of them. I feel like it would be fitting
Sure.
if they were just like, you know what, slate is clean. That's how it ends.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Considering that they're done anyways, like, who cares?
Yeah, like I feel like the worst thing this movie can do is try to set up more things.
Yeah. I
And
hope it doesn't do
And
that.
it's hard because this movie was in production for so long. It got reshoots and everything, and that was all before the purchase was rumbling.
Yeah. It
And-
got delayed the day after the first trailer came out, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
That's
And
embarrassing.
the what was I gonna say? Oh, apparently the Fox purchase is closing within the next month or two,
Okay.
so it will be complete by the time this movie releases in theaters because this is summer. So personally, outside of the weird sort of Mystique's dead, okay, moment in the trailer, I thought it looked pretty all right.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is coming from someone who enjoys a handful of the X-Men films from Fox. I'm sad to see them leave because I do like that they can touch on more things. Like, I guarantee you when they do Magneto in the MCU, they're not going to touch on the Holocaust at all.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Too
That's
dark?
Disney, and with Disney's history
Yeah.
and stuff like
Oh,
that,
that's
like
fair,
I
yeah.
don't think they're going to touch on the Holocaust at all. Like, they're going to show a shot of his arm with a tattoo, and
Yeah.
that's going to be it.
Mm.
So I miss, like, X-Men has a grit to it from Fox. I'm going to miss that.
Yeah, it's definitely different than the MCU, but I'm under the opinion that the MCU can do much better with those characters than.
I'm sure they will for a lot of them.
Yeah.
And again, I trust Kevin Feige. He's done amazing things with this universe.
Lord and Savior.
So that is that for Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, I should say.
Cool.
Before we close out for our little break, there's a little leak going on.
Okay.
A little leakage happening on the internet. According to Regal, Avengers Endgame tickets are going on sale on April 2nd.
All right.
I have also seen a tweet about someone who works in retail, and they say they have a box of or boxes of things from Marvel in their like the back rooms that are instructed to not be opened until March 31st.
Someone's gotta put their job on the line and open that box up, baby.
Yeah. Also, because we're getting into like crazy speculation right
Yeah.
now. According to somebody on Twitter, I forget who it was. I'm sorry. I'll try and find it and post it in the video. they said that Entertainment Weekly is going to be having their Avengers coverage at the end, or like after Captain Marvel releases this month, and the second trailer will be coming the week of the 11th.
Okay.
So look out for that in the future. Future news. That's pretty much all there is there, though.
All right, interesting. Are you do you buy your tickets like the first day you possibly can?
I usually get them like a week and a half out.
Me too. Yeah, like we're talking about, we just bought our Captain Marvel tickets like as of this recording.
Friday, March 1st, we were like, hey, let's pick up our Captain Marvel tickets.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, that is the wrap for our news this week. Going to take a short break. When we come back, we will be reviewing in depth Doctor Strange. See you in a bit.
You ready for another bout?
What, you getting sleepy?
Welcome back to the show. This, in the second half, we're going to be ranking and reviewing Doctor Strange. Directed by Scott Derrickson, came out in 2016.
Yep.
Never saw this in theaters.
I didn't either.
I wish I did.
Yeah.
Because of visuals.
I think this would have been better experienced in the theater.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was digging around about this director because there's a lot of MCU directors. I'm like, who the hell directed this movie? And this guy's known for horror movies.
He is.
And there's a few shots that I was watching this with my pal Arena and roommate Arena. Shout out to Arena. And she was saying that some of the shots in this, out of context, would be great for horror, like trailers or like in a horror movie. Like there's a shot of him like leaning against his window, looking out at the city, and it's like so ominous. I'm like, interesting. And some of the CG, like when he's like going through that like minefield or whatever, and there's like some just creepy stuff, like when Squidward falls in SpongeBob from the Flying Dutchman ship. That's what that reminded me of a little bit. So yeah, interesting choice.
Yeah,
with the horror guy.
I was a big fan of that choice when he was announced to be the director.
Yeah,
because I saw Sinister.
Okay.
And I don't do well with horror.
I don't really either.
Sinister was pretty cool because it was the whole gimmick was like it was around I think Super 8 films.
Ooh,
where
cool.
like there was a demon inside of it or something like that. I don't really remember, but Scott Derrickson directed that.
Okay.
Ethan Hawke was the star,
Hey.
and this was when it was like, oh, Scott Derrickson was cast. People thought Ethan Hawke was going to be Doctor Strange.
Oh, that would have been good.
That would have been really cool.
Is Ethan Hawke American?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I've only heard the American accent.
Yeah.
From hits like Boyhood.
True.
Richard
Yeah, very
Linklater's
true.
Boyhood.
But yeah, that is one of the things I really appreciate about Doctor Strange, but it's also a bummer because I wish he just I feel like he took a half step, you know? Because obviously, if you're going from crazy R-rated horror films to a PG-13 Marvel Studios Disney-owned film,
Yeah.
whether Disney put these pressures on him or not, he was probably like, I have to tone my style down.
Oh, definitely.
By the way, Ethan Hawke is American.
Oh,
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I guess that's one of the things I do agree. It's easy to pick out the shots of realizing this guy has a horror background.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few moments of a jump scare kind of where they try to emulate that with the
Yeah.
sound and stuff, which is pretty cool. I also really like you were saying with the trippy stuff.
Yeah.
One of the things for me too, this might just be again because I don't do well with these things. All the hospital stuff and the surgeries, the way they shoot it is very horror-like, even though it's just just stuff you'd see on Grey's Anatomy. The way they shoot it and frame it, and the accident scene,
Oh, yeah.
all very horrific.
Well,
Yeah, that's very-
I got some beef with those hospitals, man. They need to. That's not proper lighting to be committing surgery.
Yeah, that's fair. It's really dark in there.
Come on, Scott Derrickson, do your research better.
That's wicked funny.
So yeah, I guess we're already touching on the tone and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's one of my biggest criticisms of Doctor Strange is the tone. Because again, I think it's really cool. We've talked about this before, how Marvel has started doing genre films framed around a supernatural superhero character.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange was the perfect opportunity for them to lean into horror, specifically cosmic horror.
Right.
And I just wish he took a full step towards that, because there are moments where there's humor. Some feel out of place. I still kind of laughed at a couple of them because it's more of a pity laugh of oh, okay. Specifically, there's a scene where he is going to the library to see Wong.
Yep.
and I think it's only like 45 seconds. It's not the first time. It's not like one of the last times when he gets the time book. He just goes and he has an interaction with Wong, and he makes a joke or something, and then Wong just looks at him and he's like, "Do you laugh at anything?" And then just cuts to something else. I was like,
Yeah, that was a big issue for me too. The tone. This is up there with the Incredible Hulk for me for feeling like the least Marvel like of a Marvel movie.
and I think there's a lot of benefits to that.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be clear that I like the movie more than you do.
Yeah.
But
Big time.
I do think there are a few missed opportunities. I do appreciate this, like the shades of horror.
Yeah.
Some of the humor, like the Wi-Fi joke, that I thought that was good.
Mm-hmm.
The interaction with him in the Sanctorum with Mads,
Yeah.
and he's like, "What's your name, Mister?" It's Doctor, Mr. Doctor.
Yeah.
No, it's Strange, perhaps. Like that stuff I think is funny.
Yeah, that's okay. I will say like the thing I really like about this movie,
Mhm.
and this isn't like everyone said this, but like this has definitely the best CG in
Oh,
any
yeah.
Marvel movie, and it's awesome.
Mhm.
And yeah, it would have been really cool to see this on IMAX or like even just
I
on a
so
regular.
wish I did.
Yeah, but that is kind of like the only saving grace for me for this movie, which is weird because usually CG in Marvel is good to a point, and then it's like, ran out of money on this part. We're gonna have to. Obviously, that's not how it works, but
Yeah.
yeah, it just usually CG isn't very good in Marvel movies, but this one was quite the exception.
I do think that like the style
Mhm.
of designs of things like costumes, sets,
Yeah.
and the CG are some of the things that hold this together so well.
Right.
Scenery too, I think, is really good in this.
Yeah.
From a plot perspective, I agree it's lacking,
Oh yeah, big time.
specifically with the villain and the pacing in probably like the first act.
I think going on the villain
Mhm.
aspect, I love Mads Mikkelsen, of course, but I
me
think
too.
that this character for him was such a waste of Mads Mikkelsen. Like, what a boring character, I think. Like, just anything. This I I really don't like this movie, but anything in this movie,
Uh-huh.
like any backstory, I didn't care about. I didn't care about any like of the anything in the Sanctorum or like Mad's character. I just did not care. Like it was just over my head personally, and it was not grounded. I think in the MCU, it was just
Okay,
like totally
yeah.
weird. Yeah, I don't know. I wish Mads was in like. He'd be a great like Apocalypse or something. One of
Yeah.
those types of characters, like very menacing. But with this character, he's like so generic. I feel, and that's just not how he is as an actor.
I do agree he was underutilized, and I think this is also one of these standouts of like quite literally in the whole arc of him of Strange of the complaint of Marvel villains being a carbon copy of the protagonist but
Yep.
bad. There are literally lines like the Ancient One is like, "Oh, I see, what's his name? Caecilius. I see Caecilius in you," stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's another thing. I don't know anyone's name in this because it's so absurd.
that was a pull. I don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
And I watched this last
I was pretty
night.
impressed by that. Yeah, I don't know anyone's name in this because it's just like absurd, stupid names.
Yeah, it's just kind of for me. It's like Doctor Strange, bald lady, guy with stuff on his face, and then the big
Dormammu.
Dormammu.
Yeah.
That's Dormammu. I've come to bargain. That's really the only weird name I can remember because it's a silly line. I don't like. Real opinion here. I really don't like Doctor Strange as a character. I think he's such a dick. I really do, and I don't think he redeems himself
In this movie
Yeah.
or in general?
in this movie.
Okay.
By the end of the movie, I'm still like, wow, I don't like you. Like, I know he like takes over this like profound responsibility of like guarding this sanctum in New York, and he like I don't know, saves the world, I guess, with Dormammu. That
Mhm.
I was never clear about. I don't know, the motivations in the movie kind of like are weird to me. I don't understand them, but
I do agree because I feel like I said with the pacing was
Yeah.
another one of my issues. The first act is very much of like establishing him as
Mhm.
his like personality,
Right.
which I don't hate. I think there is something likable to how much of a dick he is.
yeah,
It's not to the level of Tony Stark where it's like, oh, I really care about you and I
Yeah.
want to see you like redeemed, and I do. Him with Strange, it's more he's like so pro, and he's like so exceptional in both the mystic arts and surgery.
Yeah.
Where I feel like part of it's warranted, but I agree his whole redemption, I guess, is kind of just tied to his relationship with Christine,
Yeah. Rachel
McAdams, and they don't like it's so his relationship there is so much of like what makes his character still relatable,
Mhm.
and they don't go back to it enough. Like when he's training, that he has the email and there's that
Yeah.
moment in the watch and stuff, which I do like that it wasn't super on the nose.
Right.
I like it how it was just used as like imagery and stuff. But by the end, like he shows up again. He's bleeding to death, so
Yeah.
it's like she's obviously gonna help him and stuff. But yeah, I feel like that was a little weak.
That is a character we'll never see again. Rachel
I'm
McAdams.
bummed.
I don't think we'll ever see her again.
I wish we do because
Yeah.
I do like Rachel McAdams, and I
Yeah.
honestly I don't think they have amazing. Actually, no, I don't love their relationship in this,
Yeah.
but I like their chemistry.
Yeah, their chemistry is fine. I think
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
I think it's better than most
Oh,
of
yeah.
the relationships in the
Definitely.
MCU.
Definitely.
It's not like electric or anything, but it's very believable,
Mhm.
and I totally get where both of them are coming from and
Right.
their motivations and everything. So I enjoy that part. It's a shame if she goes away. I would like to see her come back.
She's definitely gonna Natalie Portman.
Yeah, totally.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
We're gonna get a line in Doctor Strange too, like something like in Thor Ragnarok, like, oh, you mean
She's in a
she broke
bunker
up
in
with me?
Hawaii. Like,
Yeah, yeah, something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think this movie is fun?
I think there are fun things about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it is fun,
I don't
but
think
I
it's
don't think for me that's not an issue.
Yeah. Okay. That for me, I think even something as serious as Infinity War was fun, and I don't think this movie's fun.
Do you think that lies on the characters?
I think it does.
Okay, because that's another thing I was going to bring up too. I think Doctor Strange is so reliant on its characters over everything else.
Yeah.
So the fact that you don't like Doctor Strange in this, I feel like is why.
Yes.
Because I do
time.
like him, and that's why I do like this movie a lot. It's like we'll get to rankings later,
Yeah.
but I view this movie very similar in my head. I always associate it with Ant-Man
Okay.
in a way that it does the origin. It does it. Some things I think better than the original Iron Man, which was sort of the template.
Yep.
Ant-Man I think does some things better. Doctor Strange does some things better, I think. But I don't think either of them are better than that.
Right.
Like some of their parts, stuff like that. So I always associate those in my head. But Doctor Strange I appreciate for its how different it is.
It is that is something I could say. It is pretty different from the rest of the MCU. Like Civil War is the most previous one we talked about, and this is like leagues different than Civil War. So I can appreciate it for that.
And I do. One of the things I really hope to see out of a sequel, because we are getting a Doctor Strange 2.
Yes.
It's not confirmed of a date or anything yet, but I think Hollywood Reporter said a couple months ago Scott Derrickson's returning.
Oh, interesting.
So
Not very often. I mean, nowadays I guess more so, but back in the MCU of yore, directors really didn't come back.
yeah,
And I guess
especially with Iron Man. Like
Yeah.
the Russos have stuck around. Peyton Reed has done both Ant-Mans.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I'm wrong.
Ryan Coogler's coming back.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I just like some directors in the MCU. Like, I can't I couldn't tell you who the director of The Incredible Hulk was.
Yeah, I do think it's more recent. For
Yeah,
sure.
I think more recently, like the directors are taking more prominence, and maybe it's not as much, but they are becoming more like auteurs. I feel like they're sort of like having more control, especially with like Thor Ragnarok,
Right.
which is like very much Taika Waititi's movie.
And I gotta say that's why I'm very excited for Doctor Strange 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like. Okay, so you said you didn't like him in this movie. You like him in Infinity War?
He's okay. I like his
Okay.
back and forth with Tony Stark. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him in Infinity War. I didn't really have any issues with him because it wasn't really focused on him. I think that's probably why.
Okay. Yeah, I think Doctor Strange 2 has a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm.
And for me specifically, like you said with Ragnarok and how they do feel more like genre films now outside of being superhero movies.
Right.
I would really love if they leaned into the horror a little more.
That'd be awesome.
specifically cosmic horror,
Mm-hmm.
especially with like the quantum stuff and his like astral plane things and
Yeah.
Dormammu and demons and like Cthulhu monsters.
Right.
Like dream for me would be Guillermo del Toro's Doctor Strange,
Oh, that'd be really cool.
right? But
That like I like the cohesiveness of fun Marvel, but if there was that one movie that was horror centric, that'd be cool. I would love for Doctor Strange to be that movie.
yeah, and I think that is something they can tap into because I don't think there's anything that's leaning into horror that's a superhero thing,
Right.
you know? Not even like in the indie market from what I know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. You want to talk about the stuff when he's training at all?
When he's training?
Yeah.
Like
Because that's a
montage,
decent
or-
chunk. That's like the entire second act.
Yeah, yeah.
Like him at
The ancient one?
Karmatash. I was trying to think of the name of it.
Oh, okay.
Um,
In Kathmandu.
yes. I
By the way, there's a joke you missed earlier. Of the one where he was like, "We have a Wi-Fi password."
yeah, the Wi-Fi
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Did you mention? Did you mention that, or was that?
I think you
I
might
think
have been
you
stepping out when I
saw-
mentioned it.
All right, my bad.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, that was good.
That's a pretty good one.
Also, Chiwetel Ejiofor. I like him a lot.
Who?
The guy who plays Mordo.
Yes.
I think he's a really good actor.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be in Lion King as Scar.
Yes, he is.
Was I mistaken?
He is,
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
He was also in Serenity by Joss Whedon, the Firefly movie.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was in 12 Years a Slave, I think.
The new one.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess. Well, I don't know. I
A
said
couple
new
years
one.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sequel.
the sequel to 11. 11 Years a Slave.
Yeah, I like him. I liked how subtle his arc was.
Yeah.
I hope he comes back.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, from the end credit scene, it seems like that's what the focus will be. And I don't mean to do a tangent from that, but that was so silly to me. I thought
What?
just him going up to the guy
Oh, he was like,
and like no more sorcerers or whatever he said.
yeah, there's too many sorcerers.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I liked his character's relationship with Strange.
Mm-hmm.
I liked their back and forth a
I
lot.
like that too. Yeah.
I liked seeing, again, subtly, I liked seeing him like slowly lose it
Yep.
as Strange was calling the Ancient One on her crap, you know?
Right.
So I really liked the dynamic of the three of them. Again, I do like Doctor Strange because of the spectacle and the characters a lot.
Yes. I think
Wong.
that's the best part. The spectacle is definitely the best part of this movie. I think.
Also, shout out to Wong.
Yeah.
I like Wong a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And I love him in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Definitely.
hmm This is the second movie. Well, actually, no. This is one of the. I don't know why I said that. Time Stone is brought up in this movie.
Yeah.
Used. I'll say it's used more creatively than any of the other Infinity Stones at this point.
Yeah, I would say so.
'Cause
The
the
ether,
ether-
doesn't even like what that does.
Like when did it turn to a stone?
Yeah, what that does doesn't even like isn't used the same way in Infinity War.
Right.
I like in the Dark World. What did they even use it for? Like it was
I think it was to open the portals or something.
yeah, and like
And they used
it's-
the Tesseract to do the same thing in Avengers. You know, they used it for portals.
yeah,
Like Loki's scepter was cool with the mind control,
Mhm.
at which going into Vision and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. Power Stone and Guardians was like, eh.
Yeah.
Time Stone, honestly, I think it's just because of the nature of what it is. It's
Yeah.
like automatically the cooler one.
oh definitely. But they definitely used it and they put it like front and center and they even said Infinity Stone or
Yeah.
Infinity Stone. Was it Guardians? That was the first time they said.
I
Or
think
no,
so.
Thor. Maybe Thor.
Well,
the Dark
Thor-
World. They
yeah,
said.
Thor Ragnarok had the Hopkins speech about him.
Yeah.
If you're keeping track of how many times they've done a speech about the Infinity Stones.
Okay.
That was the first one.
Interesting.
But Avengers would have been the first example of an Infinity, like not
Right.
calling
appearing
one,
it,
but
yeah,
like appearing.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of like when they actually called it. So it was Thor.
Actually,
Okay.
no, I'm super wrong. The first one would have been Cap one, because that was the Tesseract.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that was the first time it showed up.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, the Time Stone does have a fun little usage at the end.
Yeah.
The whole Dormammu thing. I
Yeah.
like it.
I like that scene a lot actually. I think
Mhm.
it's funny.
Yeah.
It's like I like it in like a silly way.
That and
Maybe it's because you just get to like witness Doctor Strange just get absolutely
Yeah,
pulverized.
maybe.
yeah, it's like, oh, what are they gonna do next?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that scene. It was cool.
Yeah, that and him discovering the whole mystic arts part.
Yes.
Really like, again, because the visuals, like him falling through the city, and then the fight with Mads in the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we touched on this already, but the visuals in this movie are incredibly good.
Yeah, that's this movie's saving grace for me. I really, really appreciate that about this movie. Like I can't even think like, again, Arain and I were talking about this. I can't even think like what would they tell people to like, I want this to happen. Like at some point, I remember Arain was saying something about like the ceiling like twisting over, like. Would Scott
really,
Derrickson
folding into itself?
Yeah,
thing?
like would Scott Derrickson go to like the CG guy and be like, I want the ceiling to like just like fold into itself and like do all these like weird things. Like I can't even think like how they even thought and processed what material objects would do in this movie.
Hey
And
guys,
it's fascinating.
can you turn this tunnel that he's falling into just a bunch of baby arms
Yeah.
that grab his face?
Oh yeah,
Like whose idea
weird.
was that?
yeah. That's why I'm so hopeful about the second one. I feel like that part of Doctor Strange is so cool.
Is he in the comics more horror centric?
I don't know, but I will say after the movie ended last night, I pulled up my tablet and I was looking through Doctor Strange comics because I want to start reading some of his. Because
Yeah.
I feel like with the potential of comics being like pretty much limitless budget for what you're actually doing set piece wise,
Right.
I feel like there's probably some really cool Doctor Strange things.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think last thing I want to highlight is the way it's shot. We did mention this earlier. I think that this movie is just very well. It's very pleasing.
Yeah, I think so.
Like
Visually.
very nice shots, very beautiful focusing on things. The very like lingering sort of thing, which again with the horror stuff.
Yep.
Lingering shots. The scene where it's him and the Ancient One after she really like brutally died.
Yeah.
And she's like just standing out at the balcony. I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was really. I thought that was a good little scene between those two.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments, I think.
Yeah.
Just like you can see the lightning going through that
Oh, yeah,
entire
that was
back and
beautiful.
forth between the two of them, the passing of the torch kind of.
The thing that this is a small stupid thing, but her mouth was constantly open throughout the entire movie. I don't know if you noticed that, but that
never
just
noticed
bothered me. Like her mouth is just like slightly open
It's method.
the whole time. I was like, that I don't know. That
You
just
just
bothered
throw
me.
Cheerios in that thing all day.
So yeah.
Yeah, to close it out, I guess, unless you have anything else to say, I like the visual aspects, as we've been saying. I think that's pretty incredible in this movie. I just really hate the story of this movie. I just don't care.
It is kind of not there.
Yeah.
It takes a backseat to everything else.
I just don't understand the motivations for anything in this movie. Like,
Yeah, 'cause-
once he's in the mystic arts, like I just don't get it, and I don't understand the villain's motivation, which is very important in a Marvel movie.
Well, I thought the villain's motivation was pretty clear.
I mean, it is, but like I just don't like. He's not like a Thanos or like a Killmonger character where it's like,
Yeah, I don't think
can
he's a good
understand.
villain.
No, I don't think so.
But I do think it's conveyed well
Yeah.
enough.
They
The whole.
they do say it. It's just like not.
And yeah,
not good, I
on
don't think.
your other point, there are I think 2 moments where Strange is like, I didn't sign up for this stuff, but he just keeps doing it. You know?
I think from what I gathered at least, or this is what I take away from it. Like I said, he doesn't redeem himself because I think what he's doing is because he's such a narcissist and he just wants to be good at things. So like, he just wants to be good at whatever he does. So he like becomes good at. I mean, he became a good surgeon and decided not to operate on people because he didn't want it like to blemish his record if he messed up, and he decided to become a good wizard because he likes being good at things. I feel
Yeah, and there is some
that's at least my take on it.
there is some dialogue saying the opposite of that. Whether you believe it or not, again, is up to your interpretation.
Yeah.
I think subtly for me, especially at the end, the shot of him putting the broken watch on in his hands, that spoke more to me on his redemption more than anything else. Again, because I do appreciate a lot of how this movie looks.
Right.
Yeah, the shot of him putting the broken watch on top of his scarred hands, I loved that shot a lot because it's sort of him accepting kind of just like what his role is now.
Yep.
He's like, I'm broken, but I can still function. So I really like that aspect a lot. So it isn't
that's
like
nice.
his attitude doesn't change much, but I do believe that his motivations are
That's a good point. His
I
attitude.
do think he's grown.
Yeah, I think he has. That's a good point. His attitude hasn't changed, and maybe that's what I'm speaking on.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think his motivations are definitely different by
Yeah,
the end of it.
his attitude definitely didn't change.
Yeah, no, that's
Like
that's what.
his smarminess.
Yeah,
I like that though.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that's your issue
that's
with
what
him,
bothered
so.
me about it. But I guess that's the character himself. So maybe I just don't like the character.
Yeah, but I'm really excited to see what they do in a sequel
Yeah,
because
I'm definitely interested.
I think there's so much potential, especially with what they're doing now, like the quantum realm.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure one of the shots of him falling through things was in the quantum realm from
Ooh.
Ant-Man.
That sounds right.
So, if we're doing the quantum realm in Endgame, hopefully Doctor Strange 2 also features some weird quantum realm aliens
We'll
and
see.
monsters and stuff like that. But Pat, I know you have a fondness for this film.
I do. It's not really based out of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's based out of a really bad day I had,
Oh.
like two years ago. I used to work for this company that we used to place telephone cables all over the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the spots we were doing, it was just like in the sticks in Maine. Like there was nothing up there.
Mm-hmm.
It was like July 20th,
Mm-hmm.
dumping rain. We had to like go dig stuff up by the railroad tracks. So we like dig something up, go a mile, dig something up.
Ugh.
It was like 45 degrees in July. Having the worst day of my life. I'm soaked. I get back to the hotel they got for us. It was a nice hotel. Just wanted to take a shower. Someone decided to stuff their leftover pizza down the shower drain instead of throwing it out. So the whole thing like just filled up. And then they moved me to a new room. And I finally took a shower. And I got out of the shower and I saw they had a robe. And then I like saw they had an ad for a barbecue place. So I ordered the barbecue and it was good. And I was wearing a robe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched the movie and I really enjoyed it because the day was over.
Nice.
And then one of my bosses came and asked me if I wanted to go to dinner, and I was just covered in barbecue sauce. And I was like, no, I'm staying right here and I'm
I'm
watching
watching
this
Dr.
movie.
Strange.
Yeah,
That is an awesome story.
That's really good. Yeah.
yeah, it was dope. That's why I like this movie a lot.
Oh hell yeah.
Just a heads up, I don't remember my list. I'm gonna go back to last
Okay.
week
Sure.
and remember that number, but I know for a fact I'm placing Captain America at 3 and Doctor Strange at 9.
All right.
Okay.
Do you
And
want to
then
go
also-
through your list now, or do
What?
you want to go through your ranking now, or are you
I don't know my ranking.
Okay.
I want to be continuity. I
continuous?
don't think that's a word. Continuous. Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
All right.
So it's time to rank.
Yep.
Doctor Strange. I had an issue ranking this last night. Because the thing is,
I did not.
I feel like this is the most critical we've been so far,
Mm-hmm. I think so.
but I still really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think of this and Ant-Man very similarly.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's cooler things in Doctor Strange, but Ant-Man is more endearing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Do you want to run through yours, or do you want to?
Sure.
Okay.
So 14 is The Incredible Hulk. Thor: The Dark World is number 13. Number 12 is Doctor Strange.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Number 11 is Thor. Number 10 is Ant-Man. Number 9, Iron Man 2. Number 8, Iron Man. Number 7, Captain America, the First Avenger. Number 6, Iron Man 3. Number 5, The Avengers. Number 4, Avengers Age of Ultron. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 2, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And number 1, Captain America, Civil War.
Very nice. Looking at my list right now, my overall ranking might be different next time
Okay.
because let me just run through it first. 14th is Hulk, 13th is Dark World, 12th is Iron Man 2, 11th is Captain America, the First Avenger, 10th is The Avengers, 9th is Thor, 8th is Doctor Strange, 7th is Ant-Man, 6th is Iron Man, 5 is Iron Man 3, 4 is Captain America Civil War, 3 is Avengers Age of Ultron, 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and 1 is Captain America the Winter Soldier.
Cool.
I have made a lot of comparisons between Iron Man, Ant-Man, and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
3 of those all right next to each other.
Yeah.
So this is as far as what my top 10 is going to look like down the line once we catch up with everything. I feel like Ant-Man should be in the top 10.
Mm.
I feel like it's going to get bumped out.
Mhm.
Doctor Strange, I really like having like right outside the top 10 because
Yeah.
it's so close to getting in.
Right.
And I think both of them do things better than the original Iron Man. And I kind of prefer Iron Man 3 over Iron Man in general.
Mhm.
So Iron Man may be getting bumped next week.
Okay. The
So
first
that's-
Iron Man.
Yes.
Yeah. That I like that movie a lot. I feel like it hasn't aged well for me at least.
Iron Man?
For me at
Okay.
least. Maybe it hasn't not aged well. It's just better movies have come out since, obviously, because it's the first one.
The rewatch this time hit me at a really good time.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it more than I did last time.
Yeah. And my opinions on the Iron Man series have changed. Like, Iron Man 3 is my favorite Iron Man, which I thought I'd never say.
And it was weird. I guess it was really just the timing of when I watched these, but last year I remember, and ever since I saw Iron Man 3, I've always preferred Iron Man 3.
By the way, name another franchise that has ever done that, where people prefer the third to the first.
Right, yeah.
That's
and like
true.
that's not even a huge popular opinion.
Maybe
no.
Star Wars.
Oh, I love Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I know you
That's
do
my
a
favorite.
lot, yeah. So,
Well, there's some third Dark Knight. Oh, it depends on if you like the Dark Knight Rises. I don't know. Yeah.
Take my
Big
statement back. Dark Knight Rises is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, there you go.
interesting. Okay.
I stood up. This is definitely a tangent. Stood up in that theater. My best friend and I stood up in that theater, and at the exact same time said that was the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And then now watching it, I'm like, oof, I don't know. I still like that movie though. But
Fun fact about it, I have not seen it since it was in theaters because
Really?
I'm so scared. Because I had a good time both times. The first night I saw it at a triple showing of the entire trilogy, lined up so Rises was at midnight.
oh, that's awesome.
Then I saw it in IMAX. I was like, this is great.
Yep.
I own it. I have not watched it since the second time I saw it in theaters because
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm not gonna like it now.
Yeah, you might want to just hang on to that.
Yeah,
one
hang on
for
to
a
that
bit.
memory.
I lost
Yeah.
a bet in high school with one of my not one of my roommates, one of my friends, where I was just convinced that for some reason The Dark Knight Rises wasn't going to be better than Batman Begins.
Begins is my favorite.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so I thought
interesting,
I thought it wasn't, and then we bet loser had to wear a full Batman suit to school the next day.
Hell yeah.
It was an assembly day, so I got called up in front of the whole school dressed as Batman.
Oh,
I looked
Lord.
sick.
Wait, which,
No one would fight me.
Which Batman costume? 89 or?
Oh, dude, it was so terrible. It was just like it was like a black cape, like a Target, like Batman
Mask, yeah.
Halloween mask,
That's
and just like a graphic T-shirt with jeans on.
That's great. That's so good.
actually awesome.
I looked like the guy with no life who went to the Batman movies for like on the midnight premieres.
Oh, yeah.
it was a bad
That's
outing.
perfect.
I went to the midnight premiere, but moving on.
I also did go to the midnight
Okay.
premiere. I didn't dress up for it though.
I probably wore a t-shirt. So we're in phase 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 3, I feel like is gonna flesh out a lot of my top 10. That's why I had that reservation about Ant-Man and Strange. But schedule for the next 2 weeks is a little weird because we are doing one a week on the road to Endgame.
Yes.
Next week, we will. So this is coming out Monday the 4th.
Yep.
So
My birthday.
happy birthday, Jack.
Thanks.
Next episode will be a review, spoiler review of Captain Marvel because that will be releasing the weekend after it's in theaters. So if you care, see it in theaters and watch this. We will have like probably 5 minutes of spoiler-free discussion
Sure.
at the beginning. And then the week after that, we will be resuming with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 back on the release order. You will not be there for it, and neither will Pat, because we have some scheduling issues, but I will be doing it with my girlfriend because she
Cool.
loves Guardians 2.
Hell yeah.
So
She'll have a better opinion of it than I
it will be a
probably.
very positive episode.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch it because I like it. I don't love it. But yeah, I'm excited to watch that episode with you two.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure I always get people's opinions. Always change my opinions. So usually, like if someone's more positive about something, I'll think more positively about it. So yeah, I'm interested to watch that.
All right, awesome. So again, next week is Captain Marvel. I want to close out before we do our plugs and everything. Something about Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Let's do one more hype check.
Sure.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm not like overly excited because I don't really know anything about the character, but yeah, we just bought our tickets. I'm excited to, I don't know, eat some popcorn, watch a Marvel movie.
Seeing that in the Cinemark XD.
Yes.
Sam L in a suit. It's like a Marvel version of Pulp Fiction. I'm excited for it.
I saw there were new stills from Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
Clark Gregg, you know what, Coulson?
No.
Coulson from Avengers, the guy. Who
Oh
looked
yeah.
He's in this because it's like 90s when he was still like functioning with S.H.I.E.L.D. There's a shot of him and Sam Jackson both wearing black tie suits in a car together, and people put it right next to him.
Oh,
with
really?
visuals of
Awesome.
Vincent Vega.
That's sick.
So that's pretty cool. There's got to be some other joke for Pulp Fiction in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Because they
Royale
already
with
did
cheese,
the
probably.
Path of a Righteous Man on his graveyard.
Oh, really?
I bet they get a Royale with cheese at some
Royale
point.
cheese.
There you
Oh,
go.
this is
We got it.
exciting.
I
We
will
got
put
it.
money on that. I want to see if I can like get a bookie for that.
I'm so
Okay.
excited for all these references. That
Me too. Also, I'm really excited to see Brie Larson be a superhero.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be a good time.
She's great.
I love her. But yeah, that's interesting because we have our Backstreet Instinct bet. He has his Royale cheese
Royale
bet
cheese.
with himself.
Now, Royale with cheese is a quarter pounder, right? From
Yeah, they don't have to
McDonald's?
call it a Royale cheese.
Okay.
But if they do order
It's-
a quarter
it's-
pounder with cheese,
It's a French.
I'll give you credit.
Okay, so that's the criteria. It's got to be some kind of quarter pounder with cheese.
As long as it's the sandwich they order,
Okay.
that is the same. Like the translation is there. You know, like they don't have to say it's a Royale cheese. But if he does order a quarter pounder with cheese, we know.
That's
That is like
it's
it's
a-
that's
a big win for Pat.
Now I really want to eat McDonald's.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, I haven't had dinner yet.
So hungry.
So we should probably close this up.
Sure.
You want to plug yourself?
Yeah, you could follow me on Twitter and Instagram at FascinatedJack. I host a weekly video game news briefing every Monday morning on the Amherst Wire. It's called The Polygonal Sunrise. You can find it on its own streaming on Apple Podcasts and Spotify in its own feed, and you can find it in the Amherst Wire feed on both of those services.
Very nice.
I'm on Twitter at the Pmoron. I make a bunch of podcasts for Amherst Wire. We just released 808s and Ankle Breaks yesterday, and in the other room, I had a different podcast recording that I set up for. Hopefully, it came out all right.
All right. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Chris N. Buckley. Excelsior is on Twitter at ExcelsiorJC. We are also on podcast services, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I don't know if you can rate Spotify, but I know you can rate Apple Podcasts, so you should do that because that helps us. Also,
Give us a 5-star and then give us.
A review.
tell us your favorite Marvel
Yeah.
movie. Tell us whose list you associate with more,
Mm-hmm.
and give us 5 stars.
And then give us 5 stars, then give us 5 stars again, so we get 2 per person. That gives us 5 stars.
Ooh, you got to watch out that we don't give away some secrets there
Yeah,
on Pro Strats.
I've been doing that for a week.
I didn't know that as a thing. Now I know.
Very
You can't
interesting.
do it. Yeah.
JoyClicks also launched our video game podcast a couple weeks ago. Very experimental every week.
Mhm.
My friend Omar does a very good job editing that. Newest episode this week, we talked about the Pokemon Gen 8 reveal, the rumors of Xbox stuff coming to Switch, and some other thing I can't remember. But until next time, looking out at Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
it's going to be marvelous.
It's gonna be me.